you created something out of it. That is such a rare gift. I feel like a lot of people just squander it by complaining.
My relationship with music has been perhaps the only relationship that's always stayed there for me. I feel like I'm at a phase in my life where I want to experience the good. This is what I've been looking for all my life. If you are not going to do it, who will? The question is what is writer's block?
When you play that song live, do you feel like he's there with you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Random Riffs podcast, brought to you by Jam Hut Studio. I'm your host, Peter Karras. Our mission here with Random Riffs is to provide a platform for original local musicians to showcase their greatest hits. And a big shout out to our team, The Weekly Wanderer, Connor O'Sullivan, covering all your live local performances, updates, and Ali Sun with Honey Lux Production. Welcome to the Random Riffs podcast. I'm your host, Peter Karras, with your co-host, Lou. And somewhere between mystique and reliving our fondest memories, the hallmark of a true majestic artist stands out in how they allow nostalgia to surface within the space between lyrics and melody. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Karen Bellum.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Welcome to the Random Riffs podcast.
Welcome, Karen. Glad to have you. Appreciate it.
So you're here from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
today.
I live in Bushwick right now, but
Wow.
I'm originally from Belmore, Merrick, and I used to live in Huntington.
Is that a very musical place?
Huntington, yeah, I mean, that's an artistic place.
Oh, no, I mean Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, oh, yeah. I mean, you got everything over there. You got hipsters, you got musicians, you got artists, you got, name it, it's there.
Is
It's
that
fun.
one of the reasons why you were led to move there? Or is it just because you were like, yo, this is going to be a better lifestyle? I did hear about like Brooklyn and it's like very, poppy and stuff, like it's really fun. What was the reason for your
So it's
choice?
that. I think I've always wanted to live in Brooklyn. And I think that a lot of Long Islanders, or a lot of people in general, want to experience what it's like to live in or closer to Manhattan and just
Absolutely.
feel out that vibe. It's totally different. But I think as Long Islanders, you adjust really easy because we go to the city a lot, right? We go see a show, we go hang out, whatever it is. And I adjusted pretty easy. The other reason why I moved there was because I was living in a really amazing one-bedroom apartment in Huntington. I loved living there.
Nice.
My landlord wanted to take over the apartment, which is totally cool. And I thought, well, why don't I move to Brooklyn, live with roommates for a period of time, and save up as much money as I can because I'd be paying less, and then buy myself a place.
Oh,
the way to do it.
damn, girl. That's actually fire. That's a great idea. That's, obviously Huntington's going to be a little bit more peaceful and maybe better for future, right? I mean, right now you're still trying to enjoy the juiciness of life and as much of that. And I notice people out in Brooklyn are like so much more like fun, down to earth. I feel like the, suburbs in Long Island. And
Some
stuff,
of them, not all of them, right? People are people wherever you go.
That is very true. But I do notice there's a more kind of like welcoming
You feel
vibe.
the life, the energy of life there all around.
I love
and
that.
you don't feel alone. Even if you're in your room, you feel like you're there with everybody.
It's it's an alive place
got
to
a
me, I
pulse.
guess.
Yeah, and you can
yeah.
just walk 2 blocks down, hop on a train, go into the city for whatever. Yesterday I was all over on the train. Yesterday I went to see a Nets game at Barclays Center.
Were you the only one there?
Yes, I was the only one there in the entire arena. It was a little lonely, but
That's cool, though. Awesome.
but anyway, so I had these tickets that were given to me by my brother because he couldn't make it. So my friend and I went, and I've never gone to a basketball game before. I'm not really into sports, but man, last night I was, and it was amazing. Brooklyn Nets won.
Oh, hell yeah.
Totally destroyed.
Okay.
Icing on the cake.
Memphis Grizzlies, and it was fun. And then the day before, I hopped on a train and I went to the Javits Center to the New York Coffee Festival, and I just drank all this coffee, all these samples, and
I love
it was
that.
a lot of
Must be
fun.
wired
That is
after
really
that.
cool to have so much accessibility to so many activities that, otherwise would just be kind of a little bit less exciting. I mean, not that it's so much less exciting, but in terms of music, do you feel like you're more, creative around people that are probably a little bit more musical? Or is it like, being out there around more life? Is it more lively to your music experience?
For me personally, I feel like I'm always me no matter where I go. Good. So I feel like Brooklyn makes me feel like I'm in, as you said, the pulse, like in the heartbeat of it all. But I get to still be myself. I don't ever feel like I'm going to mold into anything other than myself. I think I've gotten to a point where I know who I am. Wow. I just think that living in Brooklyn allows me to become more familiar with such diversity and to see things that I probably wouldn't have seen staying in Long Island. And I lived in Long Island almost all my life. I love it here. Long Island made me who I am. Wow. So I just feel like I'm a continuation of myself no matter where I live.
I love that. And honestly, it's challenging to say that, you could be yourself. I feel like that's a very hard thing to do sometimes. So the fact that you have the stability and it's not really like, all right, well, because I'm here or whatever.
Yeah.
So Karen, you're a singer-songwriter, if I'm not mistaken, and you started at a very early age. Yes. When did you start writing songs?
When I was 12.
Cool. Do you remember what the first song you ever wrote about was?
Yes.
Let's hear it.
If you don't mind sharing. It was called The Suffering. And
by Coed and Cambria?
It's like no. It's like such a heavy title. You would think like, why is a 12-year-old kid writing about the suffering? But what does a 12-year-old kid know?
Some people
right?
break early.
Typical suburb kid. Well, I would say my childhood wasn't that bad. So let's just say that. So I didn't write about personal experience at that age, but there was a PTA contest in my, I think it was in 7th grade, and they wanted us to write about it could happen that, and then you fill in the blank. And I thought, well, I'm into music, so I'll write a song. And other people made posters and stories and things like that. And I wrote a story about a young boy who's homeless. And he lives on the streets, and nobody pays attention to him or helps him, and they just walk past him, and he's just like, and this is really tragic and it's dramatic.
I feel like a lot of people,
but it's saying it could happen that I'll die, and it's such a heavy thing. And I don't think at the age of 12 I understood the concept of what it was that I was writing about. But that's what came out, and I actually won. I won the contest.
Wow, that's incredible.
Because it was. I guess that they thought it was very advanced thinking for someone in that age. And I know I'm laughing about it in a way, but I think I'm laughing about it because it's so tragic, but it's also ironic, not ironic, but kind of weird. Why would a 12-year-old kid write about that? But that's
you were aware of your own mortality, I guess, and they thought.
Yeah, and then I remember as time went by, I would write things like money doesn't grow on trees. Money's made for celebrities that don't always make it past a certain age. And I just wrote about things that were just like, well, would a 12-year-old kid write about that? But I guess I just I was like very serious, and I looked at things differently.
I feel like that's very rare, and I feel like
I'm
that's
more
a gift.
fun now. I'm more fun now. I promise.
I feel like it's a gift to have that insight at such an early age. I mean, I feel like, you must have gone full circle where you had the gratitude and then you're kind of like, let's see, what's the other side of the coin here? Mm-hmm. Because, in other areas of the world, there was probably a kid that was also going through what you're talking about, and he's probably thinking, damn, I might die. Like,
Yeah, well, it makes me think, so my family, we're my parents are children of survivors of the Holocaust. So clearly my family has gone through a lot of tragic experiences. And then my parents moved to Israel in 1948. So they lived in a war-torn country, right? And so they have a very different life. And so growing up, going back and forth over there, we saw a very different life. So I think that may be part of it, and that it just subconsciously was in my head that I always saw things a little differently.
Wow, you have that. It's very important to remember, so history doesn't repeat itself. So that's very good that you.
When you wrote that song, did it just spark something in you to keep writing, to keep playing the guitar? After you wrote that song, were you already playing guitar? Did you start playing guitar afterwards?
No.
Could you get
That's
into
a
that?
really great question,
Thank you.
actually. I was playing the piano. I started playing the piano when I was 9. I was one of the kids that I didn't like to practice. I think a lot of kids don't. But I started writing things on the piano, and that was my thing for a while. I didn't really write about love because at that age I didn't experience romantic love, So I guess I just wrote about different things, and then the guitar I did a little bit when I was 13, but it was too difficult for me, so I brushed that aside. And then I wanted to be an actor.
Okay.
And then I got the acting bug, and I didn't want to be a singer. But then later on in my late teens, I decided, you know what, I want to be a singer. This is what I'm going to do. And I didn't pick up the guitar till I was 24 when I went back to school in college.
Oh, wow.
And I started playing, and that changed my life. I was ready for it. And I really feel that that's when the true songwriter was born in me. And that's okay that it happened at 24.
Well,
it
you
happens
knew
for
more about
everyone at
life
different
too,
ages.
so like that would give you more like raw materials and constituents for that.
And I experimented with, not that I recommend anybody to go down this route, but I also experimented with drugs. I experimented with nothing too hard.
Shrooms?
I did a little bit of that. But I got to know who I was more, and I really went on that spiritual journey, figuring out what do I believe in, who am I, what kind of people do I want to be around, what do I want to write about.
So important.
What kind of music do I want to bring into the world? And even till today, I keep changing the vibe of my music because I don't want to write the same song. I don't want to write, have someone
keep that
produce
variety.
the same thing. Exactly.
Because it's literally like every single month you're like a completely different person. You're constantly evolving. So I get that. And you want it to be fresh every time.
Every
there's
day's a
nothing
new
wrong
day.
with that.
You're growing and evolving as an artist. So, okay, you're 24. You start writing and playing seriously. How long have you been playing since then?
I've been playing, I think, like 16 or 17 years,
Wow.
but I'm 24 every year, just to set that to the record.
I was thinking, I was like, dang, you look 24 right now. So
Because it's
I'm going to be 42 on Thursday.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking
that's
forward.
crazy. You look you got great skin.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself. That's very important. You're drinking the water. See, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't hydrate.
I don't smoke.
You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
really drink too much alcohol. I'm pretty, I don't really,
What is the thing that really just you extract fulfillment from in life? Because that's a very big secret that I think a lot of people are missing. If you could impart something, how does music make you feel? Does that affect you in a way that deeply enriches your life so that this way you could let go of those things that other people might be like, all right, I need some of that today?
There's something about music, and I think everyone in this room can agree with me that regardless of what you're going through, whether it's a breakup, the disastrous stuff happening in the world that we're witnessing and we feel helpless, or just even if you're just in a funk and you're depressed or moody, or you had a bad day or you had a great day, or whatever's going on, or you heard bad news, good news, there's something about music that affects you in your head, and it affects your cells, and it affects everything inside of you, that it makes some kind of switch, almost like medication does, and it makes you feel better. So if you're performing, before you'll start performing, like in my experience, I'll feel probably whatever I'm going through throughout the day, and then when I'm done, I feel
Harmony.
high.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel high. I feel happy.
I totally agree with what you're saying because I feel that. I do make some music on the side as well, and when you're immersed in that, it's kind of like all this crazy, jagged feelings that you have just completely combined into one smooth, almost like a meditation.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I wonder if it's something that people who are artistic, any person who's artistic, are we channeling into something that is a unified oneness?
I think so.
And why is it that with the vibration, they say if you go hum, if you hum or something like that, it's like a healing thing.
Yeah.
Well, if you're singing, it's intentional humming. So
you're summoning the muse in one way or another.
Right?
I think that a lot of creation,
summoning the muse,
song finds you.
That.
It's not always there. I think I said that on the last pod too, but I that's how I feel.
You can't rush the process. Have you ever felt like you were like, all right, I got these 2 lines, and now the rest of it hasn't hit me yet, but I'm not going to just jot whatever down. I'm going to wait for that to come to me because I want it to be as enriched as these two lines. I want every single line to be perfect. Have you ever been stuck, mental block with a song?
Well, the question is what is writer's block? What causes it?
Oh, well, yeah, that's actually a good question. Do you have the raw materials to produce those next pieces? Are you emotionally primed to get the rest of it out? Like, did you have the trauma? Did you have the beautiful, happy feeling that kind of elicited that? But have you ever actually had a song, and which song was it that was one of the more challenging ones that you got stuck on lyrically? And what exactly occurred in that?
What a question.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of which song that happened. I know that I've taken breaks with writing songs. I just can't think which one it was. Or I would write half the song one day and then come back to it the next day and finish it.
Oh, nice.
I've done things where I've started a production of a song on my own and then I didn't finish it with someone till 4 years later. Which was
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, which was the song "Living on the Grate." Which was the first song I released in the last batch of tunes that came out November 21st of 2025. And I started recording it at my home during the lockdown, and I was coming up with all the voices and all the ideas and, just noodling on my guitar. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just letting it happen. And then I reached out to a friend of mine who's a brilliant guitarist, musician, producer, bassist, just all around amazing human being. His name is Teddy Kumpel. And
shout out Teddy.
Shout out to Ted.
And he said something to me like, "Hey, if you ever have any idea, you want to send it over, we're friends, we're in a lockdown, let's just make music." And so I sent it over to him, and then he sent it back with electric guitar and bass, and I was just like, holy moly. And I don't know what paused me in stopping the rest of that production, but then eventually I came around to it like about a year later or something, and I said, let's add drums. So then we had this amazing drummer named Josh Dion. He added drums. It just gave it a completely different essence. It was kind of
opened it up.
Yeah, it was funky but psychedelic.
Did you have any lyrics at that point or no?
Yeah, it was all written.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It just
wow, so you wrote it before you put it together. That's actually very
well. I wrote it as I was recording it on my Pro Tools software, which is compatible to not Pro Tools, Presonus, which is compatible to Pro Tools. I can't use Pro Tools to save my life. It's hieroglyphics for me.
Going back to the music that you released this year, "Guitar in the Air." Do you mind getting into that song? I know, if I'm not mistaken, it's about your dad, and your dad passed away 10 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
He passed away at the end of 2016. So he was. My parents were living in Israel, and he had a massive heart attack.
Oh,
and
I'm sorry.
Thank you. And so my brother and I flew out there to see which direction it was going to go. And unfortunately, he did pass away. And it's a life-changing thing when you lose a loved one. And it changes your perspective, and it hit me in different ways. Everyone deals with loss differently, and it was you go through all the stages. You don't believe it, and then
denial,
and then you forget about it, and then it hits you. So it took about 4 years for me to come up. Not that I was looking to write a song about it, but you would think, oh, I'm a songwriter, let me write a song about the loss of my father. But it didn't happen until 4 years later, and it was like a fax machine where it found me.
Wow.
Right, it was sent to me.
Poured right in.
Yeah. And
can I ask you this?
That's interesting,
yes.
Wow.
When you're performing that song today, do you feel, and I hope this is not too personal, that you're reliving that grief? Or do you feel that it's more of a celebration of his memory to play it now?
I believe that you still have a relationship with the person that you lost. I also had to lose my dog. I know some of us here have little fur balls at home, and I feel they exist somehow in some essence. And
I love that you use that word.
Yes,
because I feel like essence is the word. Like it's right there. It's in there. It's in the ether.
Have you ever had a dream where you were visited
Oh my gosh.
Or you're half awake, half asleep, and you feel like sometimes I'll feel my dog by my feet, and I'll know she's visiting me, and I'll be aware of it. It's like a lucid dream.
I was in a band with one of my old teachers from high school, Mr. Helming, who unfortunately passed away. This was going back 13 years now at this point, and I could feel his presence, not only through the sound waves when I hear a song on the radio that, he and I used to play, or a song that he recommended to me out of nowhere, come on, out of the blue.
Yeah.
But we got to...
So your teacher.
Yeah. So, but whether it be in a dream or whether it be through the sound waves, I think that you're onto something when you talk about lucid dreaming and people being there that are not actually physically there. I think there's a space between.
Right. So what is all around us that we can't see but we use every day?
Oxygen.
The ether.
Yes. Well, Wi-Fi.
Oh my gosh. The Wi-Fi.
Different connectivities to FM.
Yes,
AM, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, so you're tuning in. So I totally understand what you're saying with the Wi-Fi, and I get what Lou said. He got the presence, when he listens to songs, and the way that it impacted me. Actually, sorry to interrupt you,
please.
The way that I felt when people, sort of pass on is. I remember certain attributes that were triumphant in them, and I try to just let that be something that I let live on in me, and I just that's how I have felt that, but I never really felt a particular, someone brushed me on the shoulder or something. I never felt that part, but I do actively partake in. But so you were saying about how the Wi-Fi signals are everywhere, and you literally can tune into what you're looking to.
Yeah, I think that as artists, as creative people, I think all people, right? We're all human beings. We're not just flesh. We're also soul.
Absolutely.
So we're always connected to that, and some are more aware of it than others. And I don't think that it's like all of a sudden someone pops up in front of you and you're like, oh, hey, what's up? It's really more like you feel a presence, you feel something in the same way that your car is out there, hopefully, right? And nobody took it anywhere, right? But it's just a knowing. I think it's a presence. And let's say it's all gobbledygook. At the end of the day, you feel better knowing that. But I know from experience as a songwriter, where do these songs come from?
That's amazing.
So there has to be something. It's not just coming from in here. You're co-creating.
Well, they talk about our minds are antennas to a different...
They also talk about how there's a lot of knowledge in the air, like you're saying, like some people call it the Akashic record, but I love that you use the word experience, because I've kind of thought about what that means, because lately I've been trying to break things down in a way that I can understand life a little bit better. So I think it's exuberantly peer into essence. And you were just talking about how everyone kind of we're here, but we're also spiritually here.
Yeah.
And so essence, in my opinion, is God.
Yeah.
So if you're peering into essence, you're tuning in and knowing that these people lived and they touched your soul in some way. It can amplify and allow you to really just lock further in and really just let them live on in you. So I totally get what you're saying, and I think it is all around us. It's all interconnected one way or another. They say, hey, listen, energy can't be created or destroyed, so they must be here somehow, some way,
When you play that song live, do you feel like he's there with you?
I don't feel that or not. I feel like he's always with me in some way. And sometimes I'm more aware of it or not. I think that when I'm singing any song, I just want to make sure that I'm exuding it in the most beautiful way. There's a beauty to that song in all the harmonics, vocally as well as instrumentally, and it's about bringing out the feeling. I'm so familiar with tragedy, and I'm so familiar with sadness and loss that I don't feel like I need to experience it when I'm performing. I've already been there. I've already experienced it. And I know there's more to come, because, there's more people you're going to lose and things. And I feel like I'm at a phase in my life where I want to experience the good things.
That's what I'm talking about.
And look at the happy things.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I want to fall in love, and I want to rise in that love. And I mean, right now I'm madly in love with someone. And that has changed me. I think when you fall in love with someone, it changes your life, and you're kind of like, this is what I've been looking for all my life. And you don't know if that's going to last or not, but it makes you feel alive, and color is more colorful.
You feel plugged in. You feel connected.
Yeah.
I totally understand. It's like whatever goes wrong, it's okay. It kind of like picks you back up.
Yeah,
It's like,
but I
we'll
still
be
have
good.
days where I'm sad, and I still have days where I'm melancholy and upset about my father's loss. And sometimes I'll cry over the loss of my little pup, and I'll be like, I miss you so much, and I know it's like you of course laugh at it. It's funny in a way that I'm making it dramatic, but it's also something we all experience.
It's real. You had all those moments, and he was there to take away all the emotional baggage. She was there to take away all the emotional baggage you had for the week.
She was a tough cookie. She was
Give me my biscuit.
kind of like Brian's dog. She was a Jack Russell Chihuahua mix, and I got her in Los Angeles. And I brought her to New York. She also lived with me in Israel, actually.
Oh, wow.
When I moved over there for 2 years, I brought her over there, and she was just a tough cookie. She was with me when there were missiles and stuff, and I would grab her and just run down to the shelter, and she would shake, and I'm like, we need to get out of here.
Yeah. You think the 4th of
So then
July
we
is
came back.
rough.
We went back to New York.
Were you musical in Israel?
Oh yeah, there's a huge music scene over there. There's so many talented musicians, and so in Tel Aviv, there's open mic nights, and there's bands, and people love getting together in music. The people there have experienced such tragedy as everybody has to serve over there, so they go through 3 years of hardcore difficulty.
Wow.
And all they want to do is love, and all they want to do is sit and play music and enjoy food and enjoy each other.
So it's like you pass through the struggle. I think that we got a message here. So it's like you're going through so much hardship in life that it allows you to say, you know what, I deserve this good stuff right now. I've been through the suck already. Like I'm ready for the good,
Well, yeah, I think as you get older, you realize life is short. It's not as. Hopefully my life isn't too short. Hopefully I have a full life till 120, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
So
and with all the technology,
I just
maybe 150.
enjoy everything. That's why when I went to the coffee festival, I was just enjoying every moment, enjoying all the coffee. My heart was hurting because I had too much caffeine, but I'm like, no, I'm going to drink all this coffee and enjoy every moment of it.
So as an artist in today's music industry, do you think the industry helps artists grow in today's age, or are artists more so
discouraged?
Content creators first before they're artists?
I think it's a mixture of both things, right? Because everything evolved. I don't know if I think you're similar to my age. I think you're
I'm
in your
33.
30s. 33. Okay, so it's not too far away, but we grew up in the age where I grew up where I didn't have all this video, YouTube, Facebook stuff. And then all of a sudden that happened in 2007. And it was kind of a weird thing at first, even uploading my first video in 2011 or 2010, whatever year it was. And I've seen it when there was no social media, and then I've experienced it after social media. And it's a wonderful thing because it teaches you how to be a marketing guru, and it teaches you how to promote yourself and how to have a dose of healthy narcissism, which we all need. That we all have to have that confidence in ourselves, like, I know I'm good, I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to make the best content out there and get it out there.
I love that you say that, because it really is like, if you're not centered, you're not going to be able to have any quality content at all.
Oh, for sure.
And to someone, you're always going to be considered a narcissist. But if you've been through some, traumatic experiences in your life, like, if you're not able to create like your own like protection for yourself and your spirit and your soul, everyone's just going to eat you alive.
Yeah, you can't let the bad things that happen to you in your life
can't let them in.
Stop you from achieving the purpose of you being here.
That's what I'm talking
You
about.
have to rise above it. You
Well
can't. You have to always keep your eye on the prize, and that's something my brother told me when I would be upset about something, and he's like, just get through this. Keep your eye on the prize.
Believe in your dream. Believe in your vision. That's also part of like attuning into that, and saying there's a pattern. It's happening. I just have to let it, like Lou said before, like let it just like just come down into me, like the song, like the lyrics or whatever. The song writes itself or whatever.
Have there been days when you thought about quitting?
Oh yeah.
What made you keep going?
Often. I think it's, at the end of the day,
What drives you?
My relationship with music has been perhaps the only relationship that's always stayed there for me.
Stable harmony.
Yeah,
right there.
when I was a little girl, I used to go to Dinkelmeyer Elementary School, which is not too far from here, where we're physically located.
Oh, wow.
And that's in North Belmore. And a lot of the kids didn't want to play with me. You know how kids can be mean.
Sure.
So I would stand in the back doors and I would sing to myself. You know, now I was a little kid, so I was maybe like 7, 8 years old, something like that. And it brought me so much joy. And it was before I went to my mom and said, you know, hey, I can sing. I want to go to voice lessons. So that's been kind of the birth, that time frame. Even though I always sang and loved music, it's always been my friend. It's always been a relationship that's always there. Even when I go, I don't want to deal with it. The music never goes, oh yeah, well, go F you, and I'm going to go on social media and say how much you suck. You know,
See, how
like,
amazing how you were able to harness
the
struggle into the creation of your music. Like what you just said, because you had to deal with and endure the fact that people were just crap at times, you created something out of it. That is such a rare gift. I feel like a lot of people just squander it by complaining. Like you said, like some people just go and start typing on Instagram, oh man, life sucks and I hate it. Instead, you're like, no, let's take this and use it. That's literally like alchemy, you know?
I know somebody that took someone's, this person, I guess, complained in ranting ways that was kind of insulting to others, and he took his posts and wrote it into a song.
Oh, that's amazing. That is incredible.
What kind of music were you listening to back then?
I was a huge fan of Barbra Streisand. That was my mom introduced her to me, and I think that what I loved about her was that she didn't look like anyone else, and she didn't sound like anybody else, and she was her own thing. And and she loved herself. She would sleep outside of nightclubs until the owners would get there and be like, listen to me sing, I can sing. And nobody wanted to work with her because of what she looked like. And once they heard her, they would hire her, and you know, you have to be a pusher to get anywhere. And
you got to be unrelenting. That's eventually
the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But there are days that I don't push myself enough. There are days where I kind of just go, you know what? I'm like, I lose that drive, and I think you have to have days where you lose it to be like, well, how long do I want to stay in this
funk?
And I gotta. If you are not going to do it, who will?
If you're not possessed by the vision, then you're probably possessed by weakness, and you gotta like, all right, if you're gonna have it for a couple days, okay, but then what's gonna make you snap back into like, I'm getting it done, like I gotta create a deadline, like.
I'm assuming a lot of you, I don't know what y'all do for work exactly, but if you're in the arts and you're freelancing, and I'm sure you can relate to this, how many times do you have a period of time where you say, you know what, I don't have a lot of work, and you're down in the dumps, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere you get that phone call, hey, I got a gig for $300 for Friday. You open and you're like, yes.
Yo,
yes. And you really, and you know that's the universe going, don't give up. We're going to give you a little candy bar. Here
it's
you go.
Crazy that you say that, because actually my friend Lou here got me back into the bartending scene. I've been a bartender all my life, and I stopped for a while. Because
that's a hard thing to do. I was a bartender for years.
In terms of performing, you're doing the same thing behind the bar. But you know what? It's like you could just like really shut down. No, yeah, it is, because everyone's staring at you and everyone's like, you better make me my drink, and if you don't make it on time, you're not going to get the most tips. So
right. If someone never heard of Carabella, what's the one song they should play first?
That's a good one. Oh boy. If they never heard of me, I would probably play them, I don't know, because the songs are so different. You know what? I would probably play them Living on the Grate, just because I'm really proud of that song. I'm really proud of how it came out, just all the vocals. I've been really, like, I also love Enya. You know Enya, who has all the, she's like a cloud of voices.
For those who don't know Enya, please explain.
Okay, Enya sings kind of new age music. It's very soothing. So all the instrumentation's very soothing and everything sounds like you're on clouds. And then her voice is very ethereal with lots of vocal effects. And there's multiple voices. And it's like, I can't even explain it. But it's amazing. And she lives in a castle with cats. And she's made a huge, wonderful music career out of making music that sounds like clouds.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That's an amazing niche. Speaking of niches, what would you say that your niche is? Do you have a niche?
What do you mean by niche?
Well, like your musical direction, your genre. Like, what would you consider it?
You know, I have a guilty pleasure of listening to pop music, but like pop music like Hilary Duff and Britney Spears and
You're a millennial.
I love that. I love pop music. I love the production of it, but I also love jazz music. So I love progressive rock. I listen to a lot of different things, and I feel like the music that I have has little elements of all the different genres, and it's as subtle as I'm taking a chord that's jazzy, but it's not a jazz song, or like Living on the Grate, for example, it's a psychedelic indie folk pop tune, but it's very influenced by R&B for me, like the way that I sing it, and it's very influenced by Enya, like I mentioned, because I just love the imagery of all the different voices that you can't just hear it, but you also see it in your eyes, like behind your eyes you can see it.
Yeah, you visualize
and you can see the mountains and the hills and the valleys of all the instruments. So for me, it's really just about the journey with the music. And
I love that. I honestly believe that, you bringing it all together, you may even be the person to make a new genre. You never know. You never know. I mean, the truth is, honestly, I think it's like very stifling to say, all right, you have to just sound exactly the same way on each song. It has to have the same tone, same voice. I don't like that. I think it's, why should I, you know what I mean? Why should I
put somebody in a box.
Yeah, why should I adhere to something when I'm a different person daily? You're evolving every single day. We're not the same person. There's new information, new thought process.
Every day is a new day to react to things better.
Exactly. You're becoming, more advanced in your thought process and your emotion, your spirituality, and some days we digress. But
I feel like we're in a therapy session, like a group therapy session. I like it.
I think so too. Yeah. I mean, think about it. When do you get to have a conversation this long when nobody's looking at their phones? You're looking at people in the eye.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's actually genuine, authentic curiosity about what is your greatest passion.
Yeah, which is music, which
actually, my greatest passion is food.
Oh, yeah?
I love food.
What is your least favorite food right now? No,
fish.
Really?
I will not touch it.
So no type of things that are in the ocean?
Anything from the sea.
Not for me.
I bet there's at least one thing in the. You don't like lobster?
I'm not even a fan of seaweed. I'll endure it in vegetable sushi.
I was hoping that you'd say that you smoke seaweed because SpongeBob smokes seaweed.
Oh no, I've smoked weed. I won't really smoke anymore. It's hard for my lungs, so I'll take edibles very sporadically.
Karen, what are you going to play for us tonight? Living on the Grate? Guitar in the Air?
I think I'll be adventurous and try Living on the Grate. It's very different acoustically. It's more stripped down. And I think I'll do Guitar in the Air.
Sounds like a plan
That's
to
what
me.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, awesome.
So speaking about living on the grates, is that like, you're getting high off of life in a certain way? Like, what is that name?
It's about looking at your life and looking back at your childhood. And it's really a conversation with myself and sometimes my brother, where it's like, hey, do you remember when we were younger? But when we were younger, we felt older. But now that we're older, we want to be young again.
Oh, wow.
And I'm looking at my life, and it's the questions of it's really more, do I want to have a family? Like, do I want to build my nest? And what do I want for myself? And when I'm in a bad mood, are you there for me, or do you back away when I'm not myself?
Well, when you were younger and you felt older, at what age around were you there?
I think that when I was 15, I thought I knew everything, and
gosh.
I was such a I was so fresh,
A wise ass.
I was so fresh, and then I remember at 19, I decided to be wild and get a tongue ring and get a this ring, and my parents were so mad. It's rated
What
stuff
kinda-
that
Oh, yeah?
kids can't know about.
Oh wow! All right. Well, this is rated R. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So, all right. Well, why don't we get into the awesome songs that you're about to play for us, and let's see, what living on the great truly is. Where can we find your socials?
That's a good question. You can go to my webpage, KarenBella.com. It's all traditional spelling. Also, all my social media is at Karen Bella Music.
Awesome. Karen Bella, everybody. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, this is Karen Bella, and I'm going to be singing Living on the Great. Living on the great, living on the great. Cause I only want to feel the nest, do ya? Step aside when I'm not best, do ya? Turn around when I go away when it's not safe. Do you step aside when I'm not best, when it's not safe? Oh. Remember when we were a little bit younger, when we were younger felt a little bit older. Remember when we counted days by the woods. Look at one another, we're a little bit older, not by too much, 7 years older. The more I learn, the more I know. Every year can go slow and slip away. Living on the great, cause I only wanna feel the nest, do ya? Step aside when I'm not best, do ya? Turn around and walk away when it's not safe. Do you step aside when I'm not best, when it's not safe? When you get to the point where your thoughts go away, when you get to the point where your thoughts go away, living on the great, living on the great. Remember when we were 7 years old, when life was more simple than a bear rolling over. Remember when we tasted days that were good. Now you got a baby to put right on your shoulder, a wife that is good, the kids are bolder and older. The more I learn, the more I know. Every year can go slow and slip away. Living on the great, cause I only wanna feel the nest, do ya? Step aside when I'm not best, do ya? Turn around and walk away when it's not safe. Do you step aside when I'm not best, when it's not safe? Hi, I'm Karen Bella, and this is Guitar in the Air. If I had just a moment to see you, what would I say, would I hug, would I kiss you? I know we barely did anyway. It's okay, I'm not mad, I forgive you. We
do the best that we can just to get through. I've grown up more than I've had to. If I get in my car and drive real fast, I'll see nothing but sparks. Will it last more than a day or till tomorrow? So what is it like out there? Can you see me? Even though where can you hear my guitar in the air? If I close both my eyes, I can see you. More like feel, I'm not sure it's even true, but I choose to believe anyway. If I drink at the bar and smoke a drag, will you show up in stars to say you disapprove? Because you know I'm bolted. So what is it like out there? Can you see me? Even though where can you hear my guitar in the air? I wish there was no past. If only life could last evermore. Out there, can you see me? Even though where can you hear my guitar in the air? I wish there was no past. Oh, if only life could last evermore.
Hi, my name is Connor O'Sullivan. I am your weekly Ronderer. This week, starting up on Thursday, that is the 19th, at the Lunchbox Brewery over in Belmore, we have Chris and Dan at 6 p.m. Definitely go check them out, grab a beer. Also at the Campaign House, Pete Mann, who performs regularly on the island, is going to be there at 7 p.m. Next night, Friday, the 20th, definitely head over to Borelli's. We have the Founders with your very own Jack McGalley, who you just saw in the episode. Awesome, came out to play Little Bird. At Whiskey Regs, you have Moxie Poe at 7 p.m. She's very involved in Listen Up Long Island. Great event the past weekend I was at with a bunch of bands. This Saturday, 3 good lineups. You have the Stone Goat is Paris Ray at 4 p.m. I would definitely go check her out. We're trying to get her on. The Bowie Bar over in Point Lookout is Nick Rinaldi at 6 p.m. He's frequent every day, everywhere flyer on the island as well. Wright's Brewing Company, Snow Dog Collective, brand new bill of new bands. Definitely go check them out. It's one of the best ways to support new bands on the island who have new music for sure. Finishing up on Sunday, the 22nd at Patty Power, we have Joey B at 2 p.m. And then Will Angelou, who we're going to have on the pod soon in a few weeks, is coming up at the Spotlight Paramount at 6 p.m.